Have you ever wondered if the Bible that you've been given is reliable, or if you can trust what you're reading in it because it's such an ancient text? Well, in this video, I want to give you 4 reasons why you can trust the Bible and believe in its reliability. And so the first reason I want to talk about is because the Bible is historically accurate. And what I mean by that is there's no archaeological dig to date that has ever gone against what has been found in the Bible. Meaning that when they dig up a site that you read about in the Bible, the archaeological evidence supports that what the Bible says happened the way the Bible says it happened, which is one of the reasons why I believe the Bible is historically accurate. Another reason you can trust the Bible is because of the manuscripts and all the evidence we have of them. Have you ever heard of Shakespeare or Homer? Well, we actually have more manuscript evidence for the Bible as a whole than we have for Shakespeare's plays and Homer's writings. In fact, have you ever heard of a man by the name of Alexander the Great? Well, the earliest recorded record of his life is written over 300 years after he died. But with the Gospels, you have a recorded record within the first 30 years of Jesus's life. And so there's no historical document of its time period that's like it. In fact, we have over 5,000 manuscripts in Greek of the New Testament. And then in 1947, a shepherd boy found a group of scrolls that we today call the Dead Sea Scrolls. They have the Torah in there, Isaiah, bits of Jeremiah, and fragments of other Old Testament writings that have proved that the same Old Testament or Tanakh or Hebrew scriptures, as a Jewish person would say, that Jesus was reading in his day is what we have today, because those scrolls date back to the time of Jesus, and everything Jesus read is the same thing that they found in our writings today, which shows that these books, the Bible as a whole, is historically accurate, and we have manuscriptural evidence to back it up that is 99.9% accurate. And that's speaking of the New Testament. That word for word, it says what it says, and the only that 0.404%, so not even a half of a percent, that we find is misspellings and errors in grammar that are very easy to do, like forgetting a comma or putting a word in the wrong place or spelling a word wrong by misspelling one letter. And so when they look at it with all the 5,000 manuscripts, they figured out that those are the errors, and they're very simple, and they don't change any meanings or understandings or historical accuracy that is found within the New Testament. The third thing to consider when looking at the Bible and wondering whether or not it's reliable is the fact that there is over 300 prophecies in the Old Testament that are fulfilled in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And that is insane. I mean, if you look at the statistical probability, it's not possible for that to happen unless the Bible is actually reliable and means what it says. And so I think that is outstanding, that there's over 300 prophecies that Jesus literally fulfilled in the New Testament. And the fourth reason is its unity. And what I mean by that is from Genesis to Revelation, it is one story from beginning to end that all flows and fits together. And it's been written over 4,000 plus years. In fact, the interesting thing about the prophecies that I mentioned is that these 300 prophecies were written anywhere from 500 to 2,000 plus years before Jesus was alive, and he managed to fulfill all those prophecies. There's no way you can accidentally or even purposefully get 300 things right that are written about you in the scriptures unless they were written about you, because you are who you say you are. You are the coming Messiah. And so that being said, I want to tell you, you can trust the Bible, that you read it is reliable, it is accurate historically, and it is unlike any other book that you'll ever find in history, because there's more manuscripts than any other book, any other historical figure than you'll ever find. And it was preserved, and many people died to preserve it. And so there's no other book like it. And it speaks about God and his story and how we fit in that story. And it's God's story of redemption, how we were created to have a relationship with him, to walk and talk with him. And we had messed that up by rebelling. And it's the story of how God worked us back into his plan, into his story, by sending his son Jesus to redeem everything, fix everything that we made wrong. song by him giving his life. And then he gave us the opportunity to join him by surrendering to him and repenting of every wrong thing we've done and allowing him to lead our life. And then I just want to say this, so you have an opportunity and a choice to, one, if you've never read the Bible, I encourage you to read it all the way through. Read one chapter of the Old, one chapter of the New every day, and ask the Spirit of truth to speak to you and to reveal to you the God who wrote this Bible and how to have a relationship with him. The second thing I'd encourage you today is ask God questions when you read this book. Write down things you don't understand and ask the Lord to give you wisdom and revelation to understand these things. And this is actually something that Paul wrote in the book of Ephesians, that we've been given, Christians have been given a spirit of wisdom and revelation to know him. So if you do these things and you read this book, it's going to change your life, because if you look throughout the Western society, there's no other book that has influenced us like the Bible. It influenced the way that we do law, the way that we give people choice, the way that we believe in love and freedom. All these things you find in the Bible. And so it's a foundational piece of our history, but it's also active and living and has the ability to speak to us when we say, God, would you speak to me? Would you help me understand this so that I can know you and I can walk with you? So I encourage you to read it every day and give your life to Jesus, because when his Spirit comes in you, you will have a whole new understanding of this Bible. So read it. It's reliable because of 4 things. It's historically accurate. We have manuscripts that back that up. There's over 300 prophecies that Jesus fulfilled from the Old Testament, and there's unity within the entire book from beginning to end. And everything I shared with you, you can Google and look up for yourself. So if you like these videos, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, make a comment below, and let me know other videos you want me to make.